to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Sharon, you can show all council members are attending with the exception of Mark Smith, who will not be here this evening. Agenda is a pretty normal agenda. We'll start with you, Missy. I had Andrew on or mark that out there.
I will do Andrew's report first then.
There you go.
Contract A, the main swell and treatment building. Asphalt restoration has been completed with the exception of line E. The line E bore under the railroad is scheduled for the second or third week in September. ISI is currently working on tying in well 3. Berry Electric will be working on the electric for well 3, the tank and treatment building this week. ISI plans to start painting the interior of the treatment building tentatively this week. Upon the town's request, ISI provided a price of $3,325 to replace all the bolts on the treatment building piping with new stainless steel bolts and need direction from the town on how to proceed. And there is no payment application from ISI this month on contract A. For contract B, the elevated water storage tank, Phoenix is currently performing blasting on the exterior and interior of the tank. TIC is on site full-time for the coating inspections. The housing bracket to protect the pressure transducer was welded directly onto the tank riser after the riser had already been primed, and Phoenix will need to redo this work because the weld was not acceptable over the primer. The town is interested in purchasing a new siren for the tank, and it's my understanding that the vote will be tonight. And there have been a few complaints from residents with regard to debris from blasting. There's no payment application from ISI this month.
Okay. Well, one thing, there is no vote tonight on the new siren because we're not there yet.
Okay.
Okay. There is hope that we can keep the one that we have.
Okay.
There is a USDA grant that I'm also pursuing for a new one if we have to go that route.
Okay.
It depends on whether or not that one can be successfully moved. But there are, like I say, USDA grant funds that are available. That will be coordinated with the fire department, correct, and the county.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not really our decision as far as,
Way it stands now, to the old siren, which they've got pictures of it, and I can make copies and show everybody. It's just, the top of it's just rusted out, and it has holes in it and everything else, so if they went to sandblast it, paint it, it'd just go to shreds. But we are temporarily going to, when the demolition crew comes in, I talked to Andrew, and there shouldn't be a problem with the demolition crew taking the siren down, and then we're going to put it up on a telephone pole for temporary until hopefully a grant for siren is received and installed on top of the brackets that are on the tower. Hopefully those brackets will work for a new siren. But we'll just work on that from there.
well, and there is some talk, it's just in the preliminary stages, but there is some talk about two sirens, one on the south side, which would service then more south side and then Lick Creek that way on lagoons. Yeah, so but I think that's all the discussion that kind of at the county fire department level.
And what she was talking about, I told Jeremy that works for ISI to compile a list because some of the boats were almost worn down. I said compile a list of everything you think it needs to come up to snuff. I haven't reviewed that with him yet. But Andrew and I also talked about the skylight, which other than the appearance inside, which is probably from the chemicals and everything going up there, which would look pretty, but it doesn't leak or anything. So we might forego the cost that's already in the project for the skylight and go with the list of preventive maintenance items. We could bring it up to, we could bring all the connections up to snuff.
I haven't heard from Dylan lately. But are we still ahead on our money? At one time, we thought we were gonna have maybe $40,000 or $50,000 left. That we could apply to some of the additional things that were on our wish list, that we submitted with the grant, but they were.
I didn't get a chance to talk to Dylan, so I will talk to him.
I don't know. That was a couple of months ago, remember?
Okay.
He said we could start looking at our, what do you call that list? That list that you have that has additional.
Alternate
List, yeah. And at that time, I think it was 40 or 50,000 that we could look at. So, and maybe at this point, it may not be. Okay.
All right, and then as far as the stormwater project goes, the contractor has started sending in submittals for their structures and height, and so we are reviewing those and should be able to return those submittals tomorrow. His original schedule had him starting work this week, and he can't do that until he's got submittals approved and material on site. So I would anticipate him starting within the next couple of weeks, though. And it looks like he wants to start on Sycamore Street. That would be the first street.
Any questions? Okay. Very good. And we do have one invoice. Are we approving this one?
Yeah, we have two.
Oh, the other one you had.
Yeah, he sent it today.
The Kennan Consulting, the 5,000, and this is for September. Okay. And, do they not charge us 5,000 a month?
Sometimes
They-
yes,
they have-
sometimes they don't charge anything.
Evidently, maybe there's no activity.
Anything,
Okay, need a motion then to pay Canada their 5,000. Is there a motion to pay Canada their 5,000? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then we have the Westler one for, this is a total of 69.79. And this is for July. Okay, July. Any questions on their invoice from July for 34.69.79? Is there a motion to pay Westler? I'll make a motion to pay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, now I think we are done. You can go home.
All right, thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that baby. Oh, my God.
Hopefully I get home before she goes to bed.
Emily, I'll talk in the morning then to see if on the act with Vector or Miller Pipeline, so it is.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds good.
So that's it, yeah, it's Miller Pipeline, not Vector.
Miller's, who, I need to call?
I believe.
Okay.
I've talked to folks today about different things.
I'll figure it out tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Daniel, you're up. Now, I thought it was going to be included in your package, but it wasn't. The website development plan proposal.
Hello.
Oh, do you have one, Sharon?
Yes, I thought you just said give Penny and Walter one since.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we're off and running. We're all yours.
Okay.
We all have your proposal. What's it
Excellent.
like?
Well, as you see in the proposal, what I've done here is giving you a proposal for creating a website and presence for Morgantown. There's a lot more in it than words that really give a good description. I'd really like to show it to you. One of the things I just looked at, though, is that my laptop and your projector have different adapters. Does someone have a computer that we can plug in and I can show you some of the things we've done? My biggest problem is you guys are using the old VGA adapter. Or I can pass around my laptop. I'm okay with that.
Well, let me see what I can find out. I'm gonna go back here.
Well, while she does that, let me give you a little bit of background. You know, is what I've been, my company Intel, we've been working on application development, website development for, oh my goodness, I've been doing this since 1995. So you can't really get much more experience than what I have on there because, frankly, the internet wasn't around before then in terms of how we're using it now. But as far as what it applies to what you're trying to do, from my conversations with Joellen, you're wanting to do a couple different things. One, of course, is have a web presence on the internet. That's the easy part. The next step is how to make sure that this is a tool that can be used for your community. And that's actually the more important part of this, of what we do, is we try to develop tools built around your needs. Some of our clients here locally that you're very familiar with, and hopefully if we can get online, I'll show those to you. If not, I'll literally pass my laptop around. We've done the website for Warren County, so I don't know if any of you had a chance to see that. We've also done the website for the Morgan County Economic Development Corporation. Just recently, this was a small little project for us, but they came with a need for it. About 3 weeks before fair was started, the Morgan County Fair said, "We need help. Can you help us?" And we cranked out a website for them in a couple of weeks because they needed something, obviously, because we had Charlie Daniels concert there, and they wanted something that could happen and be effective for them. Looks like we're not having that laptop, so here's what I will do, is I can adapt to the situation. And that is, I will just pass around the laptop.
You did the Morgan County government website?
Yep.
This one?
Yep. Okay. So what we do, let me pull it up for you real quick.
Maybe you and Penny could look at that. I've been on it a lot. I can get it on here as a matter of fact.
Internet access first. Which one is the Wi-Fi?
Pardon?
Which Wi-Fi do you use? We've got a few of them here.
Whichever one's strongest, and it's just right outside.
Just a minute, I want to see if I
Well,
can
they're
find
all
Wi-Fi. That'll show.
Oh, I have the strongest signals I have is AT&T 912.
Let me see if she's still out here. I think she is. And she has the password, I'm sure.
You might want to take.
Okay.
Yep.
So anyway, so let me explain what we do while we're waiting for internet access. Let me explain a little bit what we've done for Morgan County, just to kind of give you an idea of some of the things that we do for Morgantown. For the Morgan County website, a number of years ago, they wanted to upgrade their presence on the internet, and we did two things. Of course, first off, we made a sharp-looking website. That's just a given. Everything that comes out of my shop, comes out of my guys' hands, I want it to be the best. So that's just personal pride on my part. I want it to look good. Plus, this is my home. I live 4 miles away. So as far as I'm concerned, I want to make sure that everything that we do reflects, a high level of quality. So you'll see that the website itself is really, it's one of the, honestly, I hate to brag, but I'm going to brag a little bit. It's probably one of the nicer county websites in the state. We do projects, my company, we've done projects for the state of Indiana, for the Department of State, the U.S. Department of State, Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. We even recently worked on a project for FFA. Literally every ag teacher and ag student in the country uses the system we built. So, we can handle, larger and even smaller projects as well. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me log in here
Nice
so you can
evening.
see. There we go. So I'll pass this around here. I'll let you see this right off the bat on this side. Pass that on down. So one of the things we try to do with the websites are to try to make them very user-friendly. We realize that most of the people who are coming are not necessarily going to be tech experts, and we don't want to make it complicated. We want to make it fairly simple. So for instance, For instance, one of the...
Well, I'm just laughing, Walter doesn't, he doesn't use one, so. Yeah,
That's all right.
we're passing it on by him.
Well, one of the things that we tried to do is, if you go to the Morgan County website, you'll see in the navigation across the top something called directory. That simple little tool has become one of the most useful tools of the website, because it's literally, if you go click that, it pops up a window, and it has a directory of all of the individual offices that people need to contact. And that's probably the quickest way that people are able to find and access the people they need to access. So simple tools like that. Another tool that we developed is one called the Highway Hotline. And that tool was something we developed for the county, so that if an individual says, hey, there's a big old pothole in front of my house and it needs to be taken care of, they can input that into the website, and it goes directly to the girls at the office, who then can take that and divvy that out to whoever needs to go take care of that pothole. Those are some of the simple things, but we also have done things like integrate Facebook and Twitter. One of the things where that's really useful, you'd be surprised how often people will use Twitter, but where that came in useful is during snowstorms. A lot of people are getting their Twitter feeds on or getting information about the snowstorm, and we can give that up to date. And the nice thing is you don't have to go enter it in the website and then go enter it in Twitter. You just go to Twitter, you enter it in, and it pops up automatically on the website. So those are some of the basics. Some of the nice features. Some of the things that we also do is we try to integrate with whatever applications you might need built. There's ways to say, hey, let's say, for instance, we want to be able to put an application online. Here's a great example. I was helping the county prosecutor with an issue because they were renting some space for me down over there in Martinsville. And they were commenting on they had put applications in for some help that they needed in the paper, and hardly anybody responded. Because let's be honest, these days a lot of people don't read the paper and pick up the classified ads. I suggested to them, well, why don't you just put it on Facebook? And then all of a sudden they start getting applications. And why? Because they're using the tools that are out there that people are using to be able to integrate with the average person. The average person says, oh, I see, prosecutor has a need. Oh, my friend Jill would be perfect for that. Maybe Jill isn't interested, but she has another friend, and all of a sudden you have that chain reaction. So there's a lot of tools out there, and these are not costs that are associated with that jack up your costs as far as a community, because these are social networking tools that are already out there that people are using them. It doesn't cost to use Facebook, it doesn't cost to use Twitter, but it's an important way to interact with the community, let them know what's happening, what's going on. So these are some of the tools that we built. You can also integrate tools, for instance, if you want people to be able to pay bills online, if you want people to be able to interact, maybe fill out a permit online. All these are nice, easy ways to do this, and you take away some of that difficulty. Maybe you're old school and you're not comfortable with everybody filling everything out online, but you'd still like to give them access to paper documents, so that way they can download those documents at home. Because how often does someone come to the office and say, I need a permit, or I need an application for XYZ permit. They come, they pick it up, they take it home, and then they try to bring it back a few days later. This saves them time. It also saves you on printing costs, especially if you have a lot of those documents, because then when someone says, hey, I need XYZ permit application, oh, no problem. Go to our website, and it's right here at this location. Click that link, download that yourself. You can download it at home, fill it out, bring it into us. So, and more importantly, I'm just going to say this. Now, I'm a country boy. Like I said, I live 4 miles that way, right on the edge of Green Township and Jackson Township. And I love my horses and I love my farm, but it's also the 21st century. And, as we know, there's a lot of people who are coming through Morgantown. They're going to different places, and we want to make Morgantown a place that they feel comfortable to stop, visit, eat, have some of that pie at Kathy's that I keep telling everybody about. If we're going to do that, then you need to find a way to reach out to those people. And the internet is one of the best ways to do so. If somebody literally, and I don't mean this in passing, I don't say this because I do this for a living, I say this because this is how people do things. If somebody wants to hear about Morgantown, how is the first way they're going to look, try to find information about it? They're going to go to Google and they're going to look up Morgantown. So don't you think you want to have control over that first look of how they first perceive Morgantown? A good website is how you do that. There's my 10-second spiel. Go along your 10 seconds.
I had some things that we had kind of talked about last year when we kind of tossed around a website, the different things that we could have. I just want to verify. So we can have a section on there about our town history.
Absolutely.
Those are on the National Register.
Yep.
Okay. We can have a section on there where it could be for our businesses, so they can click on, like you said, the dining or
Yep.
antiques or whatever. We can also have a section for social services. If someone needs senior care or
Absolutely.
whatever, okay. Then we also wanted to know if, we'll have a link to the, it's not GIS now, what's it called? The Elevate. A link to Elevate, but we have.
Absolutely. As long as you have that service with them already,
Okay.
you'll be able to connect into that. I know if you go to the Morgan County website as a good example, they're using 39 degrees. So you literally have a little link to the GIS system, and you click on that, it pops up a window. It looks like it's all part of the site, but it's actually pulling in the tools that they've already paid for via this contract they have with 39 degrees.
Okay, well, and my final one was that we can also have people can fill out a form online for, let's say that they want to do a building permit, they can, or electrical, whatever, they can do that, and they can do the payment online as well.
Absolutely.
We can process
Yes.
payments online.
The processing payments online, actually, the great secret about that is that's usually done through your credit card company. Now, your credit card, your bank. So you can utilize the bank's tools, or if you prefer, you can use a third-party tool like AuthorizeNet or even PayPal. You can use multiple ways to allow them to
Is
pay
that
for
what
it.
we use now?
PayGo.
PayGo.
So for instance, if you're already using PayGo, and this is what we try to do, we try to integrate with your already existing services. That way you don't have any additional fees. So we can connect with PayGo, say, okay, what interface do we need to use to make sure when people fill out this information, it goes directly into the PayGo system, and it saves everybody a little bit of time. So absolutely. One thing I want to comment too on, one of the issues you mentioned a lot about these different sections of your websites. This is what we call content. This is the information. These are the pictures, the design, the pages, the different sections of your website. The way we design this, and we do this for all of our websites, have systems so that you can actually go in and make changes yourself if you feel so, like you want to. So, for instance, let's just say you have your history section, and suddenly somebody comes in and, hey, I've got some new information about this historical figure about Colonel Water. I want to put on the website. You look at it, yeah, let's put that on the website. Maybe it's a new photo. They just give you that photo, and we will train you on how to use that. You can go ahead and add that image or add that text, add a whole new section if you like. But at the same time, we don't leave you hanging. If, for instance, after we've given you the training, you still say, well, you know what, we're not real comfortable, maybe we're real busy, we just don't have the time to add that in there, then just for a very low hourly rate, I've got content experts at my company who they'll type it in for you. If it's really about, I don't have time to type it in, we'll be happy to do it for you. But if you can use Facebook, or you can use Word, or you can use Yahoo Mail, then you can use the system that we built. Another thing I should add, that I meant to add earlier, one of the things we do with our websites is we make them mobile friendly. What that means these days, especially millennials, younger people, when they first go look at a website, they're not looking at a laptop, they're looking at their phone. And when you design a site, if you design it just around a computer or a laptop, if you look at it on a phone, you're like, scroll all the way over here so I can see what it looks like. A modern website should always be mobile friendly so that it looks different, but it's still the same website on that mobile device, so that way that they can easily navigate it the way they would expect to be able to navigate on a mobile device. What we build is always mobile friendly. That's just standard practice for us. It's not something we charge. I always get a little frustrated when people say, "Oh, we charge additional for that." I'm like, no, that's good design. If you're designing it right, then you shouldn't have to charge additional for it. It should be designed that way from the ground up. To me, it's kind of like saying, "Oh, I'm going to charge you extra for putting in a back door to your house." What? So that's what we do right up front. For me, it's important that we always do something that's quality. My people and I, we're trying to make sure that it's a good quality. But the other thing is, like I said, this is my home. I live here. I see all of you in multiple scenarios, different places, whether it's going to the store or at the fair or eating at a local restaurant. So the last thing I want is for anyone to feel like they didn't get what they needed. I want to make sure you feel like, yeah, you know what, we got a bargain, and that's my goal.
Anybody have any questions? One of the things that, once the website is installed and everything, then I think the natural next step is for your codification. And that, we can integrate that in, right? So we can have that. And then the other thing is we can have all of our past records, right? All of our,
Absolutely. This is meant to be a tool.
Yeah.
A website can be just a very simple, here's who we are and welcome to our town. But that's really not taking advantage of what you really need, what you really should use it for. And that is a tool to help you do your business better. This allows you to be able to access documents. You can set it up so that employees can have their own section that they sign in. They can have, you can have different roles. You can have the minutes for your meetings. Any documents that you want people to download, whether they're public documents or whether you say, okay, here's some specific documents just for employees only. These are all things that can be set up and are fairly standard in how we build our systems.
you have any questions? No? You sure? So he says if you understand, you see computing. Yeah. Jeff, any questions? Walter? Nixie? Yeah? No? Blake? Sharon? Any questions? Well, we need to move. How long would it take to have a website up and running?
It usually takes between 3 to 6 weeks. Just depends on how complicated you want. Now, one of the things that we can do too is we can have part of it up and running. So maybe, for instance, your home pages and some of your basics, and have it out there, and then start adding on to it. You don't have to. You don't have to tell everybody, oh, I gotta wait till it's all done. We can build it out in a section, have that first piece out there, and while we're working on adding, say, for instance, the section behind the scenes for employees, you can go ahead and have your pieces with content, your ability to put in information, to have forms for people to download while we're working on other pieces. Because sometimes there are things that you have. I usually found our biggest weight is waiting on you to have the opportunity to gather the information that you need. So, so as far as that's concerned, you can say, oh, well, our site's live, and but while we may still be working on things, they may be things that are behind the scenes, not for the public to consume, but more for the employees to consume.
Now, we did look at another website, and your bid is about $1,200 less than what theirs was, just to let you know, it's about $1,200 less. If we did this, we could take 6,000 from CCI. CCI is the impetus, right? So we could take 6,000 from CCI. We could take some from general and then some from each of the two utilities, right? Since we'll be paying bills on that.
You can take some of it, yes, out of each other.
And so if we took 6,000 out of CCI, 500 out of water, 500 out of wastewater, that would mean we take 1,250 out of general. And you've got let me just see, on that line, telephone, internet, and We have, yeah, we got 3,200 left. Yeah, we should be able to go in there unless you have another one. Anybody have any questions on the website? It's $8,250. Oh, yeah, $3,000 for the interface design, $2,000 for the management installment figure, $2,000 for the custom application for development, and $1,250 for the employee training. So, yeah, those are the four categories.
People read on tonight, or?
I think we could. I mean, it's up to you guys. Are you comfortable? Doesn't matter. He's not going to click on. Now, your kids will. They'll be on there. What about you, Dixie? Are you comfortable with it? Okay. Well, do we have a motion to proceed?
I'll make a motion that we use Daniel for
$8,200. And how do you say it?
Intelligent.
Intelligent. Okay.
It's a play on words, intelligent sleep.
I know. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'll second that motion. Is there a discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. So the motion carries. Now, before you get up from your seat,
Okay.
one of the things that's exciting about this is Daniel and I are on the Bible Committee. And the Byway. It's called Hoosier Hills Scenic Byway.
Oh, okay.
And it's exciting.
Yes.
It is very, very exciting. And there's 6 in the state now, presently, and we'll be number 7. And when you get once it's finished, it'll be presented to NDOT at the end of March. But once it's finished, then when you get a state map or something, it's highlighted on there. You can take this scenic byway. But you can get off of 70 over in the eastern part or western part of the county, come through there, come over at 252, cross to Morgantown, down 135, through Morgan County, or to Brown County, Morgan to Brown, down through Story, then it goes down to 50, loops back up and comes through the forestry, Morgan Forestry, and it is exciting. One of the things that is really exciting about it, the guy that's helping us with it, he did the Highway 421 from Madison to Lake Michigan. That was the first one done, and he did that one, and he's done several since. But they see an average, the businesses that are on the byway see an average of 20% increase in their sales. Because people like this. There'll be an app. There's an app, so people can do the byway, and it will be broken down. If you want to, just like if you're coming between Martinsville and Morgantown, you got a winery, so if you want to click on winery or something like that, you'll find that. You'll find historic things. You got the church at Nebo. You have the Revolutionary soldier buried right out here. You have the Rock House. You have our historic district. I mean, you have all of this that is, it's exciting. And then also you can play into that with recreation. So they'll be able to go to Lake Lemon. If you want to look at recreation, you can click on that. It'll give you recreational opportunities. But it is a very exciting thing. And it's a committee right now composed of Brown and Morgan, and we're going to add Jackson, Monroe, and Lawrence.
It'll be a good thing too, because the initial idea had Morgantown kind of the top, and then you were looping around Brown State Forest. And, as we conversed and talked about it, really we got to involve much more of Morgan County. So coming down through the 39 bypass, also a loop coming down 67, another loop coming up Old 37. So, which also kind of makes the little center of that hub, Morgantown. I she's thinking about, which is not bad for Morgantown,
That would
because
be great.
you
It
know,
would just be great.
you got a lot of reasons with people, one way or the other, are going to be coming this direction and then moving through that scenic bypass. And honestly, being someone who spends a lot of time outdoors, I think you'll be getting a lot of people coming through here. And anything to encourage people to be able to stop and say, hey, oh, here's something I want to stop at and see.
And so the website development just plays right into this, because that'll be very important, that we have a website presence, so that people that are thinking about doing this can also go to the website and be able to click on our businesses and see, you know, are there anything that happen to be going on, sidewalk sales, water day, or they'll be able to click on Morgantown and see what's going on. So the website developed in with the bylaw is very exciting, very exciting.
Now, as far as the website's concerned, one of the things I'm going to start needing are photographs and things like that, so you're going to be my main contact in developing that.
Sure.
So make sure you have a card. Do I have yours? Before I leave today, make sure I give you my cell number and everything, so that way we can start out right away. I'm excited. It'll be neat.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, let's see here, minutes for the August 2016 minutes. August 2016 minutes. They were passed out. Did everybody have a chance to read those? Any additions or corrections? Not, those minutes will stand approved as submitted. Financials, Sharon, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with revenue? Yeah.
We received our riverboat revenue sharing income this month for the year. And we also received our qualified court costs
That's good.
from the last 6 months of, or the first 6 months of this year, pardon me.
That's good.
And I believe that's really all that's extra.
Anybody have any questions on revenue? Okay. Now we look at
And
it.
then the appropriation report. Anyone have any questions there?
Anybody have any questions on appropriation report? Okay.
And then finally, the fund report for the end of August.
Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Fund report, you done good too? Okay.
Okay, and pay file.
Pay file?
Oh, I do have one thing, the ninth trash removal.
Oh,
That came later, and I think that's the copies in your packet.
Gosh, what a bargain.
$863, and this is just for the tonnage of what was taken in on Saturday morning for the cleanup day. And so it's $863.
For 17 tons.
17 tons.
Mhm.
I can't believe how you're really over. Crazy, I guess.
17
Amazing.
tons. What do you
Isn't that
have?
amazing?
That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot, yeah. Okay, is there a motion to go ahead and pay nights?
Make a motion to pay.
That's a bargain at any price.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, Sharon, payroll.
Yes, the payroll.
Pay file, let's see here.
This is for August.
Anybody have any questions on pay file? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the pay file payroll on
I make a motion to approve the payment.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay.
Keep signing that.
Claims. Anybody have any questions on the appropriations? Accounts payable register? I didn't really get through this that much, so. Jeff, you might want to look at your gasoline bills, because this month, between the two, it's $728.16, and that's more than it's been.
What's it
Okay,
been,
pardon?
what's it been?
I have to look, but, let's see. No, because it's all lumped in the garage and motor. I don't have the previous ones. But year-to-date, through July, is $6,521, and that was all in garage and motor, so that includes everything else. So that's we had. I think that's, now I might be wrong, but it seems like that's higher than it has been. Now,
Would it be difficult to set up a separate line for gasoline? Because
that's what it is. Oh, you mean?
I'm familiar with that kind of a setup from the school. I had a separate line for gas or fuel, gas and diesel. And it was, I could see exactly where it was going.
The thing that didn't make sense to me is that MVH, which is just a third of it, because it's times 3, but you had one bill on 8/23, and you guys had 2 bills, one on 8/9 and one on 8/22. You just might want to look at it. There may be nothing there at all, but it just seems like that's more than what's been running to me. But the other thing is, MVH was filled one time on 8/23, MVH and, it goes 3 ways. And that was $126, so that would have been $378. Theirs ran $378 for the month, and you had 2 fills for, what did I say, 728.
728.
Yeah, you might just, and that may not be that way. It may be that,
I don't see those bills. I'd like to.
I know,
I'd
that's
like
what
to-
I mean. I think
yeah.
you need to start seeing your gas bills and your, because we talked about, we probably ought to revisit the you guys think,
Dispensing,
then,
the
yeah.
dispensing unit.
I know that it was kind of a hang-up with the fire department, but we can do our own, I guess.
Right, and once again, the electrician told us that it wasn't fixed 100% when he fixed it, because it was gonna cost another additional $700 or so to fix it, right, or even more than
I
that.
think it was more than that.
And then, now, when we turn it on, I just noticed this is intermittent, but when we turn it on, his pump starts running. When I turn ours on, his pump starts running.
Well,
And Connor's brought it to my attention today too, he's noticed that. I've noticed over the last 2 weeks that when I turn it on, his pump starts running.
Yeah, our switch sticks on ours, and they're both fed from one power source. Yeah.
So you guys might just want to kind of look at that. And
I don't
like
think
I say,
fire
I
department
would
really,
be,
I don't think that they're,
I don't think they're interested.
no,
Oh, you think
I
they
thought
are?
they were.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
maybe they are. Well, that's great. Let's just, maybe we need to just
I'll-
kick that off.
Jeff, we'll get together
Yeah.
and rekindle this.
Yeah, because that printout is, it's
Oh, I know.
the date, the time that it was filled up, it's, everything from the printout. And that is the way to track it.
Yeah.
And I can look at these bills. The bad part about the bills it's just like even with the school corporation. You may fill up and have a lot of athletic runs, but it usually lags behind then. And then you fill up again and you're like, wow, we shouldn't have run that much fuel here in June, and it was actually May when all the field trips and everything. But still, our fuel shouldn't fluctuate more than, I wouldn't think more than $100 a month, if that. Because, gas is down.
It's
I don't know
down,
what we're
that's the
paying.
whole thing.
I don't know what we're paying for gas.
It's in your pink stack, and this is something that, you guys can kind of look at tomorrow or something, that they are in there. And,
I'll be happy to look at it.
I mean, just
But-
as a,
I'd like to see the bill.
I'd like to know where the money is. Anyway, is there a motion, you guys have any questions on claims? Is there a motion to pay claims?
I'll make a motion to pay the claims.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign?
Did I get the other one back?
No?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have the minutes yet, Sharon. Have you sent that one around?
What was it?
Here's the pay file.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure I didn't send?
I sent two things around.
Okay. It has to be here.
You can find them.
Here we go.
Okay, and then I think that, we need to set a time for a special meeting next week to go entirely to budget. Is that correct? Is that correct, Sharon?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you guys have on your, Wednesdays don't work for you?
Not really.
Not really, no, that's good. Thursday, how about Thursday, the
15th?
15th? Or Monday? 15th? Or Monday, the 12th? Okay, that one.
That'll be Tuesday.
Pardon? Oh, that'd be too soon, yeah, that's too soon, yeah. How about Thursday, the 15th? You wanna make it earlier, you wanna make it 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and, I mean, Mark is home by, he's off his bus route by 4. You wanna make it 4 o'clock? Is that okay with you guys?
Oh.
4 o'clock, okay, 4 o'clock,
15th.
Thursday the 15th. Okay, we have 2 adjustments for wastewater. Mr. Miller, you're here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody got his claim? It's just when Mr. Miller came into town hall.
I think I saw that.
Okay, there you go, right there. You're coming to it. Yeah, there you go. Mr. Miller came into town hall numerous times since he's moved. And we are looking at, let's see, I'll look at the history here. I really didn't have a chance to look at this. So, the last 2 months have been a minimum bill, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm pretty much a creature of habit, so I don't know what happened with the inconsistencies, but, the last 2 months are, have been, I consider normal use and such. So before, it would vary tremendously from month to month.
So since the new meter was put in, everything's.
I really went fine. You fixed the problem, I don't know how you did it, but you fixed it, so I say thank you.
Okay, adjustment $61.50. This says, that this looks funny, I'm just questioning. On 11/2, there's a payment, and then on 11/9, there's, what's that? It says payment. Oh, I see, it was wastewater only. Okay, well, nothing to borrow. Okay, I thought, how could that be? Okay, anybody want to make a motion for the 6150 adjustment?
I make a motion that we refund 6150.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, Mr. Miller, you were adjusted.
Okay. Very good help, thank you.
Oh, yeah, we know that is. We have another one, Miss England, for $168.10. She had a water leak, it's been fixed, is that correct, Becky?
Yes.
Has she billed since it's been fixed?
No. But I brought it before the council because her bill this month is $417.32, and she's not going to be able to pay that.
It's a $168 adjustment.
Yeah, on the wastewater side.
Okay, I see what you mean.
It was a significant enough leak that it is fixed. Or they would know.
Oh, yeah, 207.96 divided, or subtract 39.86, which is an average, $168.10. Okay, I'll make a motion that we give Ms. England credit for $168.10. For a second,
I second.
all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Mr. DPW.
Of course, then we covered most of the water tower. The electric is run across the road to the stud up at the new tower site. The building itself has not been painted yet on the inside. The pipes have been painted, although they have to come in and repaint some of those, which is theirs because they didn't mix match the colors because the greens, basically, they're all coming into the well. That's how it's color coded. So, which is no problem. As stated before, we're gonna go off that list and see what they're gonna, the repair list versus what the skylight. And of course, we've just got to get financials on that before we proceed with that. See here. As has been stated, I got the paving grant. There's a meeting, I gotta find out, there's a meeting Monday on.
Monday at 1 o'clock, we'll go at Seymour.
Okay. On how to proceed with the bidding process on that. I've started some measurements, but our markings, of course, I measured it for my own periodic. Of course, they're going to come up with their own measurements, and we'll just compare the different places. And we always like to get 3 bids. I'm going to go ahead.
We have the bid forms for Lee, it's just a matter of making sure, I mean, getting.
Yeah, those look great.
And so we'll get those in.
Getting towards I'm going to end up being retired before the first of the year, so I wanted to go ahead and just get this in. The QBA state bid is Goodyear tires. And that's just what I was going off of. An all-terrain, it's called it's a Goodyear all-terrain adventure tire with Kevlar. It's a 10-ply tire. The cost is around $768 plus mounting and balancing, which we would just do that locally probably. We would just have it. I would pick the tires up and just do them locally. Mountain and balance.
That's up to you guys. How much was it again?
$768.
768, new tires before winter?
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. Is there a motion for Jeff to get new tires for his truck? Okay, Walter made the motion, is there a second?
I'll make a second.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign.
How about Bobby's truck, out of those tires?
No, those are fine.
He's good.
He just got some, when he gets, don't worry about it.
Actually, mine's,
No,
yeah,
his are, yeah, okay.
mine's just exactly 12, so they've lasted.
Okay.
Years old, inch.
Do you have anything else?
Yes. Of course, we received our CDX for the lagoon. I got to sign off on that. That was pre-approved, so that'll be just,
I just need you to sign.
yeah, sign off on that, okay. We were talking, Jeff and I were, which is former employee and one of mine, of course, Sam's Club. We'd always talked about Sam's Club, and then we came up with the notion that it would be like, we wouldn't have a charge. What we would have to do would be getting our necessary supplies like sap, paper towels, toiletries, whatever, and stuff, and water, and things like that. And I think in the long run, and Sharon could give me a list, or well, we could, of course, abundancy, I could just give them, but if it would be okay if the town paid for the membership, and then we pay no charges to be open, but we pay for it, and then turn in a claim where it has to be, that way it'll be reviewed, it can be reviewed by the claims that we pay request for.
Where do you get them now?
Rolls, yeah.
Seems to be a lot cheaper.
Becky and I used to go to IGA.
Yes, there you go.
One of the things about that, because we have that with Kairos, and it's not a charge code, so we can't charge anything, but it never charges us any sales tax. So it automatically, they have all that paperwork and everything, and it's a card, like a membership card, only it tells them that you're tax exempt, and you have to sign, when they bring up your thing, you have to sign, yeah, we're tax exempt. But it saves all that hassle of, going up there every time, showing them your thing, getting the tax taken off and all that.
That's why they just don't think about it, but
Yeah.
like paper products, especially from IGA, they'll forget, and they'll charge you tax.
We have cleaning supply, you have a lot, yeah.
Yeah, clean supplies, everything.
They just,
Drills.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think it's $45. Is it $45?
I think it's around that. I looked at it a little bit.
I think it's $45.
And Becky just mentioned office supplies too.
Oh, yeah, office supplies are,
Could be
a
quite
lot
a
cheaper.
bit
You can
cheaper.
get a case of paper a lot cheaper there. And the other part, the great thing about having this is you get in early. You can go in at 7 a.m. You don't have to wait till they open.
Classified in the business. Yeah.
So you go in the other door, but you can get in early. So,
So, yeah, I'm just asking the council if they'll go ahead and pay the membership fee, and that'd be it again. Like I stressed, no charges, no
we cover
card.
everybody.
That's great.
Yeah, it'd cover all the departments. Yeah.
You guys are all work together.
we'll just give.
Take a list.
Take a
There you go.
Take a
Yes,
list.
good idea.
Just make on the list.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we have Sam's card and make a duplicate card.
I think that you got to
Yeah,
get a second one
you
for
can
free.
get a second
Yeah.
one free.
Great.
Yeah, that's,
That way it's shared.
okay,
You want to go?
motion, second.
Okay, for Jenny
Yeah.
now.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, okay, motion carried. Are you done, Mr. Gaffney?
Just one more
One
thing,
more,
and
one
I'll
more.
talk to,
Just one.
well, it is one more. I'm not saying that, so just one more.
Just one more thing.
Jeff and I have been talking, and Bobby works with me, and then we were wondering about, of course, this is going to be a little bit, the sheriff's going to have to get involved in this too, but we were wondering about direct deposit. What?
Oh, it should be easy to do.
I don't know, I mean,
I don't know, it might be a cost involved, but we can find out if you really want it badly.
I don't know, I can find out. Dee Richards,
There's no cost involved.
at Merchants, I had, Kathy had given me her information to email back when I first started, and said that she would be interested in helping us set it up, but it'd be through Merchants Bank.
Their
And-
paychecks are through merchants, right? But the sizable balance that we keep there, they wouldn't charge you.
I'm just thinking, I don't know whether Keystone, I just don't know whether we have to add and buy something else or without knowing for sure whether that can, I remember there's some flashes of things that you have to sign off for when you're doing your payroll, and one of them is a question about direct deposit. So maybe
If Keystone.
I will ask.
Keystone is what the schools use too.
Yeah, if Keystone has been developed in the last 15 or 20 years, it's set up for direct deposit.
Well, I'm sure it is, but a lot of things you have to buy extra. then, you know, so,
Well, that would be something for, you could check on, get back. And then, because it is a convenience, most places do it anymore. Okay, are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, Mr. Town Marshal Decker, we have your report.
Yes, and you have the monthly report in front, and the longest call was 51. And the citations, there were 8 citations and 12 warnings. There were no citations on the town ordinance. There was 4 warnings written, and those were all taken care of in time. And also through that, we changed the form that we were using on the weed abatement and the grass. And so we are now using the new updated form. I want to thank Lee for taking the time and working on the pursuit policy that I think we can adapt tonight. And
I owe you the others, and I'll get with you here right away.
okay.
Sorry.
And we used the taser last night, but and use the taser form. That's a pretty standard form that we have to document that. So we filled that out. But anyway, in the climate, the way things are going, all of the surrounding agencies, and especially over our neighbors in Brown County, they've had some pretty roller coaster rides with their pursuit and their other policies in the last couple of weeks. So I appreciate the hard work on that, and I didn't realize that you had so much red ink on my
Well, it's just
policy that I put in.
just the program. It showed it that way.
But I read it out well, and I really appreciate that. Disseminated those to everyone. We do a signature, checklist and signature. They sign off on them. I take the sign-off sheet and put it in their personnel packet, and then they keep a copy to themselves, and we keep the copy in the binder.
That's great.
So we're getting that. Evidence room is almost 100% complete. Hopefully that I can get the evidence in the evidence room, the ammo and the gun locked up, and the files in the file cabinet now. So things are getting a little organized down there, and we appreciate everyone's patience and help on that. So but the new evidence and the guidelines will be completed here in the next few days, and we too were putting those to work last night. So new reserve officer training and testing. Ashley, our new reserve, we're going starting next week. You're going to see her driving with me. She'll be driving with Connors, and she'll be driving with Swank for a certain number of hours before we turn her loose. And each one of the officers have been instructed to take her out and do some traffic stops, and have her start doing the initial contact with the violator. And so I think things will be good there. Now, the bad part of it is definitely have to look at the gas budget, because we get another officer out there, and we're at least going to have another 18 to 20 hours a month, and we're going to have maybe a car in motion. But I also think that that's well worth what we put into it, because we get these reserves. As I'm looking at the hours that they put in, that's no cost to us, other than keeping the vehicle maintained. And Ryan and I pulled the reserve car over before the holiday weekend, made sure every light was working in it, made sure everything was working, and so we've got to get in shape. Ryan's car has a split back bumper, big gash in it from 2 or 3 years ago, and we did an estimate. Neil Bowman gave us a really good estimate, about $700, which is usually just the urethane cover itself, and he's going to fix that for us. And hopefully we'll get that in pretty top shape. So I think that's about it. I will definitely look into the gas consumption to see, to track that, to see where, it should be pretty easy to figure out where that's.
I just brought that up because, I don't know if you've accounted for all the keys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
can account.
Oh, I didn't know if you accounted for all the keys.
Yeah, as far as the gasoline goes, and that's why we had a loose set of keys last night that got lost in the yard on foot pursuit, and so we were scrambling around, changing locks and doing things, and then went over and picked up Jeff's metal detector and found him just before 4 o'clock, I think.
Just before you gave that crap.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Just after I got the door locked.
Well, that's okay.
We
That didn't hurt.
did find the keys, and there's not an extra set of keys as they're running.
Good.
So
Oh, we can all breathe a sigh of relief there.
that's about it.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Jeff? I do have one. Have you, just the magic room upstairs, how's it looking?
Nothing like magic.
I mean, is it still just,
There's no evidence from 2001 and
Okay.
1997.
Very good.
But that's all cleaned out. But no, I've got a rack, a clothes rack that I'm going to put up, and uniforms are, shirts are $50-some, pants are $50-some, and we're going to go through all the uniforms, and we also started putting the tapes with the names on them rather than embroidered directly on the uniform, and we're going to pick up some of those tapes and salvage. In fact, I think one of our reserves, Jeff Jackson, he and I went up there and he found a couple of pretty nice shirts, and they've made some name tapes for him, and we're going to salvage those out and put those back into service. So it's
it's a process.
I'm waiting for it to cool down a little bit up there. It's kind of hot.
That room, I mean, man, you
But-
open that door, it's scary.
But I do want to ask at some point in time that we enter into some agreement with maybe assets, auctions online or something. We've got a lot of surplus, outdated stuff that we will never use. And brackets and lights and different things that have to, are kind of specific for certain cars, and just old mounts, computer mounts, and there's even a dog kennel up there, that goes in the back of the car.
Yeah, I know.
And that was probably from a Crown Victoria or something, and it probably doesn't fit in anything we have now. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff up there that just needs to go.
Well, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Jeff or Jeff? Okay. I have no old business or new business. Anybody have any old or new business? Public comment? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, Walter, thank you. Seconded and adjourned, and we're on our way.